Today marks the start of a major turning point for China's stance on crypto because the CCTV, the China Central Television Station, just broadcasted crypto for the first time. It's a very big deal, and the Chinese-speaking communities are buzzing. Historically, coverages like these have led to bull runs, according to CZ Binance. We can see that CCTV, the China Central Television, featured a Solana meme coin and also discussed Bitcoin today on national television.
第二就是客户的资产的保障，它的存放，它的怎么样处理。第三点当然就
This is a monumental day for crypto in terms of China because we know for a long time China's stance on crypto has been relatively harsh since they did a flat-out ban of crypto trading a few years ago. But now it seems like the tide is starting to turn following Hong Kong's announcement to legalize crypto trading to retail on June 1st. Now we are seeing a lot of the Chinese community starting to buzz in regards to their stance to crypto. And this is a narrative I've been talking about for quite some time, but it's beginning to get even more steam heading into the month of June, which is the legalization of crypto trading in Hong Kong for retail traders. Fabian, a crypto analyst, stated that he has some Chinese friends and colleagues who have confirmed that the hype is real and the word regarding cryptocurrency is spreading fast over there. He says that new capital inflows will start gradually, but ramp up with time and become a major tailwind if they stay on this path. The significance of the Chinese population for crypto really cannot be overstated. And I find it very interesting that we are starting to see some momentum coming from the Asian side of crypto, directly following the US's relatively aggressive stance to regulation in terms of its approach to cryptocurrency. We've seen Operation Choke Point 2.0 in the US shut off a lot of the on and off ramps in crypto. We are now starting to see a bit of a capital shift from the US into other nations, and clearly many Asian nations are seeing this as an opportunity to attract Web3 talent, and that may very well be what is happening in China right now. And of course, Hong Kong could be used essentially as a trial run for the Chinese government to monitor how crypto trading performs, and if it performs smoothly, then that could open the door for a more widespread legalization on the Chinese mainland. Now, I know that sounds like wishful thinking, but we are starting to see some signs of that maybe eventually becoming an actuality. And the important thing to note is that now Chinese investors will have access, not directly through the Chinese mainland, but indirectly through Hong Kong, at least easier access to trading cryptocurrency. So news of Alpha posted that Hong Kong Securities Commission will officially start to allow crypto trading for retail starting on June 1st, beginning with these assets. So in Hong Kong, from day one on June 1st, you'll be able to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Filecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Atom, BNB, Litecoin, Link, AVAX, ADA, and DOT. So some of the major coins here, they're essentially the Hong Kong coins that are going to kick off trading. I expect maybe we see an increase in volume for some of these coins. However, there will likely be a lot more listings over the next few weeks and months till it eventually becomes, like a traditional crypto exchange with many, many more tokens. But this is the list that it is first starting with. Now, the whole Hong Kong development isn't just new. This isn't just new news. This is something that's been growing for quite some time and actually started with Paul Chan, the Hong Kong financial secretary, labeling his support for crypto via the legalization of crypto trading, but also his investment into Web3 technologies. And I think in April 10th, when he did issue his intent to support Web3, this was the first major positive sign of crypto growth in Asia when they hosted the Digital Economy Summit in Hong Kong and announced that they were setting aside $6.4 million to invest in cryptocurrency development as part of their annual budget. Also, we saw BitGet around that time create their $100 million fund to focus on Asian countries adopting Web3 technologies because it said regulations in the US have forced many companies to look overseas. So the trend here is clear, a shift of power in terms of crypto from the West into the East. Now, it's possible, as I stated before, that Hong Kong could be used as somewhat of a trial run for China, as, crypto trading on mainland China isn't exactly legal as of yet. they could very well be viewing the developments of crypto and the success of this new crypto initiative in Hong Kong, monitoring it. If it works, then using that to give the tick of approval for maybe more lax regulation in China. Of course, the Chinese television station posting about cryptocurrency was an indication that they are starting to maybe warm up a little bit more to crypto, but that could certainly eventuate more so if the Hong Kong crypto trading ends up being, a major success. And CZ anticipates that Hong Kong-based banks will start supporting crypto, and he thinks we'll start to see a migration to crypto as a result of that. Justin Sun also said that his ultimate goal is to be able to host cryptocurrency events in Beijing and Shanghai, and is confident that this goal can be achieved within the next few years. And we can also see many other Asian initiatives starting to take place as well. We saw, the big digital summit in Hong Kong, and also many subsequent events in Hong Kong around that time, which resulted in 10,000 attendees attending the conference, which was massive. So what else is happening on the China front? Is it just the Hong Kong news, or does this story go deeper? Well, I've done some research, and I can tell you now it is starting to go a little bit deeper. We are starting to see, I think, a turning of the tide in terms of Asia's stance towards crypto. The first thing I want to note is that China is launching a blockchain initiative via its research center to train blockchain professionals. So the National Blockchain Research Center in Beijing, which is backed by the Ministry of Science and Technology, will conduct research and industrialization of blockchain tech, aiming to establish a national level blockchain network that will connect existing blockchains in China and support other industries. Whether this will be a CBDC, we're yet to see. I mean, highly likely that it will be. But what we do know is that China is starting to embrace blockchain technology. Now, we have to make a distinction here between embracing blockchain technology and embracing existing decentralized blockchains. That is a different thing. But if you ask my opinion, I think CBDCs are the ultimate advertising campaign for the blockchain, because if someone uses a CBDC, realizes how fast and efficient payments can be, but then also realizes there's this other version that does the exact same thing except allows you to keep self-custody of your assets in a decentralized manner, then, well, that essentially just makes the decentralized alternative look even stronger. So CBDCs, although viewed as some sort of bearish thing for crypto, I actually think long-term could be bullish for crypto, but maybe I am a contrarian on the CBDC opinion there. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. The Chinese city is also launching a government-backed metaverse program. This is pretty huge. So Nanjing, the capital city of China's eastern Jiangsu province, inaugurated the China Metaverse Technology and Application Innovation Platform to advance metaverse research and development across the country. The newly established state-backed entity is led by the Nanjing University of Information Science and Technology. As per an announcement on NUIST's official social media account, the platform consists of founding members representing diverse academic institutions and metaverse-related companies throughout mainland China. Nanjing and other Chinese cities are competing to take a prominent position in the country's metaverse development. In Feb 2023, the city revealed its metaverse strategy. This is huge, by the way, aiming to create a thriving industry with annual revenue surpassing 135 billion yuan, 19.13 bill, by the close of 2025. So they're aiming to create a massive behemoth of a metaverse industry in China itself. So there is investment that's happening and massive funding that is now starting to go into these initiatives. And we can see this as one of the hallmarks of those initiatives. So in the context of all this China news, what is the way that you can trade it? I mean, is there a tradable, extractable way to make money off this trend? Well, the first thing I want to note is that any sort of development in Asia for crypto, especially in the face of what's happening for crypto in the US, is bullish long term. So I've always said that the next bull run could likely be triggered by China starting to open up its doors to crypto and make its stance more lenient towards crypto, and that does stand true today. So I do think that a China crypto bull run could be triggered if things keep going down this path. Now, it may not, and that it may end up being hot air, but the current signs that we're getting is that we could be working towards that future where we do see significant liquidity inflows out of Asia, which could result in a massive boost for crypto. Because the thing you got to understand right now is the reason why the market's relatively stagnant is because there's not many new inflows. Many of the current retail participants just aren't that interested in putting new money into crypto, and you need new audiences that are excited about cryptocurrency to adopt cryptocurrency in order to get that next wave of inflows. So I think China, Hong Kong, other Asian nations, the Middle East, these kind of newer nations that are now starting to develop cryptocurrency, those could be the real golden key here to that next wave of liquidity inflows into crypto. So that's why it's significant for crypto in general, as a more broad thing. For a more micro thing, I think this does highlight the efficacy of regional trading in terms of trading regional coins. So I did a thread on this and a show a few weeks ago, but just to give you a summary, I think there's a very valid approach in crypto, whereby if you're trying to capture exposure of the upside of a nation, what you can do is you can invest in cryptocurrencies that are tied to that nation as a proxy bet. For example, if you think Chinese liquidity provisions are going to kick in and result in upwards movement for Chinese equities, one way to capture upside without investing in equities themselves could be to invest in proxy coins through a highly liquid market like crypto to get exposure to the upside of the Chinese narrative. So we did actually see that back in January when CFX exploded and many other Chinese coins exploded when the Chinese central bank initiated liquidity injections. So CFX, which is viewed as like the Chinese Ethereum, was a market leader during this period, pumping over 2,130% because it's synonymous with China. Now, the thing about regional investing is that coins don't necessarily need to be tied to that nation. Like, what makes a Chinese coin doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be like created in China. All it needs is to be viewed in terms of market psychology, investor mindshare as a Chinese coin to perform well off the back of like a Chinese narrative, for example. So in terms of trading these narratives, you can create watch lists of Chinese related coins, which just solely based on investor mindshare can perform well during times of bullishness for a regional market like China. So I want to highlight here the list that I've made, and you can make your own Chinese list, but if you want to copy mine, you can. I've made a list of Chinese coins, and I'm watching them really closely right now. I'm also watching the coins that were listed in Hong Kong officially, which is this list here, but I am waiting for more listings in the future. I think we could see, we need to monitor the volume, of course. Once, Hong Kong trading kicks off, we need to see if it's significant or not. But if it is significant, then there could be trading opportunities similarly to what we saw on 𝗕𝗏𝗏. Like, you guys remember when 𝗕𝗏𝗏 got listings, because Korea is now, a very dominant crypto player in the market. When, Arbitrum got launched there, when Aptos got launched there, they absolutely pumped because of 𝗕𝗏𝗏 volume. Could a similar thing happen with the Hong Kong exchanges? Well, I want to make sure I'm on top of it. So I'm going to be really monitoring which coins are launched on the Chinese exchanges and monitoring the current list of those coins. And the other thing I'm doing is monitoring the list of Chinese coins which follow my proxy bet regional coin thesis. And you can read this entire thread on this thesis if you search regional coins, Miles Deutscher on Twitter. I did a whole thread which explains why regionality in crypto is important and can be the door to unlock extra profits in crypto. And I actually think this is one of the best threads I've ever written, in case you haven't had a chance to read it, because it'll help you think outside the box a little bit more and make you a much better narrative trader. So I've built my trading strategy now around the bread and butter of narrative trading. Regionality is one thing that can slot into that strategy. Now, Gold Crypto did a post saying, China was bullish on crypto in 2019 due to Xi stating his bullishness on blockchain and digital finance, which was one of the catalysts behind Bitcoin's rally from 3K to 14K. Now, China is bullish on crypto in 2023, and from June 1, retail in Hong Kong, albeit, which isn't technically the China mainland, will be allowed to trade for the first time, which causes Bitcoin to go from, obviously, it's probably not going to do a 3x just off the basis of Hong Kong, but he has a good point. Bullishness out of Asia typically has led to crypto rallies. Could this be the same thing? Well, we're going to need to see how China's stance towards crypto plays out, but I would be very prepared for that scenario if it does happen. So let's move on now to a general market update. That's the China narrative. That's what's happening. Had its first mention on Chinese mainstream television. Lots of development now happening. Keep your eye on those Chinese watch lists that I showed you. Now let's get into the Bitcoin chart, the Ethereum chart, and have a look at what's happening in the market. If you watched my video yesterday, you would know all about the debt limit crisis, which is currently plaguing, or at least limiting the market in the short term alongside macro headwinds. Could that be coming to an end on June 1st in line with the Hong Kong crypto legalization? Well, it very well may, but let's look at some of the price scenarios for Bitcoin and ETH off the back of that. Before we get into that, I want to remind you that OKX has a mystery box competition for you to potentially win up to $10,000 if you just sign up to an account in the description and deposit. That's all you need to do to potentially get your hands on a $10,000 mystery box. Now, you may get $0 in the mystery box, you may get $10, you may get $50, you may get $100, you may get $1,000, $10,000. But you got to take a shot to score in this game. So if you don't have an OKX account already, you can sign up in the link in the description to get access to that mystery box. For the ones that already have one and traded during the Tesla comp, I believe Ran is giving away the Tesla on his show. So good luck to everyone. I hope you are successful in your endeavors. I had a good chance on the show a couple of weeks ago to chat to the winner of the Maldives holiday. He was super thankful for winning. So congratulations for winning that holiday. That's absolutely awesome, man. And I hope whoever wins the Tesla has fun riding around in their new car or has fun with the $50,000. So congrats to the potential winner when Ran announces it. But if you did miss that, well, you still have a chance to get a nice mystery box using the link in the description for OKX. Simply click on that link and sign up. Deposit to potentially win $10,000 through that mystery box. Let's see what is happening in, I keep saying my session's disconnected. Let's see what's happening in the crypto market. Going to give you a quick update here. So Bitcoin doing something that's a little bit scary, and that is confirming below, making another lower high below a key horizontal at 26.5. Now the daily hasn't closed yet. It still has a few hours to go. I would love to see a daily reclamation of the 26.5 level. If we close below, I do think that spells potential trouble for Bitcoin to play out its notorious head and shoulders pattern to the downside here at 23.8 to 25k. I mean, this entire area at the end of the day is a range, which is around the previous level that Bitcoin used as support before it broke out above its 25k range high. But yeah, I would be extremely wary of that if Bitcoin fails to reclaim this horizontal, because basically if we just take the very clear trend at the moment, we've had our highs, we've had a lower high, we've had a lower high, we've had another lower high, now we had another lower high. So this is not really a bullish pattern at all. This is still a bearish diagonal sloping trend until you get a confirmed break of this zone here. So when we start to see momentum break, we're going to see a break of the diagonal and likely another higher high made above the 27.3 level. That is what I would be watching for Bitcoin for me to flip like bullish in terms of short-term trading. Until then, I think any push upwards could be shorted with the expectation of another lower high setting in, and that trading thesis has played out brilliantly since I first mentioned it at the 30k level, because you've had 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities to short altcoins, which did a lot worse than Bitcoin, because remember, in this environment with dominance going up, you want to long Bitcoin, short alts. So when you long Bitcoin, when you short alts, and that would have been a very profitable strategy. So if you were following that, I talked about that a few weeks ago. That was the plan. That's playing out nicely. The plan hasn't changed until we make a new high and break through our diagonal level. Until then, unfortunately, the head and shoulders still looks like it could be playing out. So I'm just wary of this, and that's why I'm relatively heavily positioned in cash right now. So if you don't want to trade any of that, if you're interested in, let's say, taking a short, or when things do maybe potentially flip and we reclaim, and you want to consider longing, either way, however you want to play this, it's up to you, of course. Don't use my financial advice. Take your own decisions. This is just for entertainment purposes only. So when you do want to trade, you can trade on Prime XBT. The great thing about Prime XBT is they have a variety of trading pairs. So not just Bitcoin, Ethereum, but also a variety of altcoins and also Forex pairs. So if you like trading, the AUD pairs, GBP pairs, USD pairs, you can trade that on here as well alongside commodities. So you can trade gold, silver, basically like all these different commodities that you couldn't, and even you can trade stocks, that you couldn't normally trade. And the other thing is it's non-KYC. So for the ones wanting a new home after select exchanges like Bybit have now closed their doors to non-KYC customers, well, you can potentially look for Prime XBT in the short term as a solution to that, as they won't make you KYC. So if you want to sign up for Prime XBT, we have an awesome promo at the moment. There's a link in the description that will give you a 20% deposit match. So if you deposit, let's say $10,000, you get $2,000 worth of a deposit bonus. Deposit $20,000, you will get $4,000 worth of a deposit bonus. So pretty big deposit bonuses, up to a $6,000 max. So you can theoretically deposit 30K and max out your bonus there. So if you do want to do it, link in the description to sign up for a Prime XBT account. Even if $100 will get you a $20 bonus, link in the description, sign up to that. Only the first 100 users will get access to this deposit. I'm pretty sure over 60 have done it now. So every show I'm updating you, we're getting closer to this being exhausted. If you do want the deposit bonus, make sure you get on before that allocation is exhausted of the 100 people that will get the bonus. Then we might think of a new promo, but I think, we're just going to limit this one to 100 people for now. So if you want to make sure you're going to get that and lock it in, there's a link in the description. Also a pretty cool exchange to trade on with a lot of different pairs, very reputable and trustworthy exchange in my opinion as well, which is always a good thing. And that's one of the reasons why we've partnered with them on the show. Let's quickly have a look at Ethereum now, painting a slightly different story to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin has started to now break down on the daily below its horizontal support. Ethereum still hovering above its horizontal support. So actually ETH BTC has shown a tiny bit of strength over the past few days, albeit, it has been in a relative downtrend over the past few months, but it has held up okay, basically behaving like a stable coin since the beginning of May. So not much to update you on in terms of the Ethereum price. What I would say is, look, if you're doing a long, this is not a terrible level from a support perspective, but you would have to make sure your stop loss was, at around the 1750 zone, wherever you like to place it based on how much leverage you use. So, in case if we flip below, you're not caught out to the downside. And also, similarly, if you do want to trade the short scenario, where there could be a short setup here, if we break below, have our retest of the previous range high, and then you've got your 1670 targets there for a nice short. And since ETH leads the alts, I probably wouldn't short ETH. I would use the ETH chart in confluence with the weaker altcoins on their ETH pairs or BTC pairs, whatever one you prefer to use, and then I would short the weakest alts. So that is my plan for shorting alts if we do start to break below. But until then, the long scenario is valid as a support long. We've got to stay objective here. But we did, make our break to the downside, and we, similarly to Bitcoin, have now had 2 or 3 lower highs starting to set in for the Ethereum price to indicate that downtrend. Bitcoin dominance also bouncing off its diagonal support on the daily. So we know on the weekly we're range bound. I don't want to talk about this too much today because I talk about it like every day, but still range bound for dominance. Nothing's changed until we get a definitive breakout from 48 to the upside or 39 to the downside. I'm not getting too bullish or bearish on alts versus Bitcoin. But what I would just monitor here in the short term is the potential of a Bitcoin dominance breakdown. If we did see dominance breakdown and reject off this resistance level at 47.7 on the daily chart, then if Bitcoin was increasing in price, but Bitcoin dominance was breaking down, that would probably lead to like a mini alt run. So that's something I'm just keeping in mind, but it is wishful thinking because you would need Bitcoin to perform in that scenario. If Bitcoin dumps and we do get a dominance breakdown, that would indicate Bitcoin is holding up worse than the alts, which would be a bit of a flip of momentum given the market's done the opposite in recent times, but I'm prepared for it. So I'm just going to wait to see how dominance reacts, and of course, how price reacts in terms of how Bitcoin performs and ETH performs will tell me whether it could be the sign of an alt season or whether the dominance collapsing is simply just like some sort of, standard retracement. In terms of the top performers over the last few days, we've had this 𝗲𝗏𝗏 NFT, which is like this Japanese, I think it's Japanese or some Asian project with like hostesses. It's really weird. Some weird NFT project, and all the commenters are speaking in not English. Like I think I don't know exactly what country it's from, Japan or China, but I think it's Japanese. Yeah, it's completely weird, but it has pumped, and it now has a 500 million market cap on no volume though. So it looks it looks very manipulated. So I would ignore that from a trading perspective. Axie Infinity performing well from its App Store release of its new app in the Philippines. 𝗕𝗏𝗃, which is OKX's coin, performing well alongside 𝗕𝗆𝗕𝗏𝗃. Sandbox and Decentraland, 𝗏𝗏𝗃, 4 of the top performers today. Also some of the top performers from a relative strength perspective recently, due to some pretty strong metaverse tailwinds at the moment, which is, won by the NVIDIA outperformance. So NVIDIA's AI boom has been a, major tailwind behind its success, but also we're starting to see, projects like Render performing well off the back of Apple's upcoming DevCon, partnerships with Apple. So I think the metaverse narrative now is just starting to pick up a little bit of steam. And I do expect if Bitcoin, for example, does, break above this diagonal level and does make that new higher high that we're looking for on the 4-hourly and the daily chart, then if alts are going to outperform, I would look at AI and metaverse coins. It's very clear to me that when the long opportunities come, if we do start to get long setups, those are the ones I would long over other coins, because you always have to look for relative strength in this market in order to, maximize your trading. If we look at the open interest change in the last 24 hours, we can see the trend is clear as well. We have 𝗕𝗥𝗃𝗧, an AI coin, up 40% in terms of its open interest, alongside Render, as we discussed before, YGG, Yield, Guild Games, Axie Infinity, etc. Of course, there's some other ones as well. We've got 𝗕𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗃, SafeKey, some ones I don't really know about, but the trend from the top 10 is clear here. We're getting AI and gaming coins starting to pop up in this trend as well. So that is a strong narrative that I would watch. So if you want to trade those coins, on a decentralized exchange. So obviously we've got Prime XBT and OKX. If you want to trade on a centralized exchange, if you want to try trading on a decentralized exchange, I highly recommend trading on chain due to the self-custodial nature of being able to hold your own assets on your MetaMask, but also the flexibility of being able to keep trading on-chain and separate your on-chain and your off-chain wallets. It's very important, I think, in crypto, and this just isn't just a gain shield. This is just a general piece of advice I would give to new crypto participants and existing crypto participants. It's to really trade on chain. The best learning experience you're going to get in crypto, the best knowledge that you're going to make in crypto is via trading on chain. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean trading perp dexes. It could be spot trading meme coins on chain, like basically anything you want to do on chain, just do it. Get into DeFi pools, use bridges. You'll qualify for airdrops doing it. You will become a better trader doing it. You'll learn how to use DeFi doing it. You'll learn the pain points, which will hopefully help you identify solutions to those pain points by doing it. So many benefits to trading on chain. That's why I would, highly recommend that everyone trades a percentage of their portfolio on chain. And if you do have money on chain, then of course, if you want to take leverage positions, this is where I'm getting to with the gains plug here, then it just makes sense to use a perp dex like Gains or Apex, whatever you want to use. But I find Gains to be a good one because it's got Bitcoin, ETH. It's also got, Apple stock here. We can see it's got Forex, Amazon, a bunch of different pairs, and they're constantly launching new pairs. So this is a cool one. It's got commodities as well, gold, silver. So if you do want to trade on chain, I don't think you can look much further than gTrade from a trading experience because of its low fees on Arbitrum as well, and its quick execution, and their composability means they can spin up new pairs really, really quickly. We also saw they have earned over $5 million over the past 90 days. So GNS stakers are actually doing quite well at the moment. Full disclosure, I own GNS tokens. If you own tokens as well, I think you're sitting in a decent place. Non-financial advice at all with what I'm about to say, but I am looking, non-financial advice, to potentially accumulate some more GNS tokens in the near future. I just like the team, man. Obviously, they are a sponsor of the channel, but just on a personal level, I was invested long before they came on as a sponsor. And I just really like the project. I like what they're doing, and it's part of my DeFi portfolio, and I want to keep increasing my position there. I've taken profits, but I want to start getting back in now at lower levels. So I'm looking at GNS, and yeah, that's just on a side note to the exchange. If you want to use the exchange, use that. If you want to invest in the token, do that. Whatever you want to do, but remember, non-financial advice. So I am in Monaco right now. I'm actually in between Nice and Monaco, staying in a nice villa. If you do want to keep up to date with my trip. There's a link in the description to my Instagram, I believe, which is here. I basically annoy you with travel blog style stories. Like if you go onto my Instagram right now, you'll see my entire day. I basically just post like travel stories. So why I'm mentioning it is because I probably won't be streaming this weekend, but if you want to keep up to date with my life for some reason, and you're interested to see what I'm doing, yeah, you saw me go to NYC Paris today. You saw me, I also post crypto news. This is actually the view of my villa. You can see here we have an amazing balcony with a crazy view. I'm loving France, by the way. It's my first night here, but it's absolutely insane. So just thought I'd point that out if you guys are wondering, in case I don't stream this weekend, what I'm up to. And if you want to keep track, I'll probably keep you updated there. And any crypto news, I'll also keep you updated there. But yeah, it's been lovely to go to France for the first time. And hopefully I'm going to enjoy F1. Let me know who you're going for. Let me know what team you support. Are you a Red Bull fan, Ferrari, McLaren? Let me know in the comments below if you're going to be watching. And I'm excited to visit Monaco for the first time tomorrow. So that's going to be exciting. Just thought I would just mention that quickly. And yeah, links to the OKX mystery box, Prime XBT, deposit bonus, and gains perpetual decks in the description if you want to trade on those respective exchanges. And until the next one, I will see you later. Peace out.